What is going on, guys? Josiah LaRue here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Corsair 450D case. So let's go. So yeah, today I wanted to take a look at the 450D case. Now, I had originally been using a Thermaltake case for about 5 years now, ever since I originally built my custom PC. And that case has served me well. I mean, I've taken that to multiple LAN parties. I've taken it across the Midwest as I've moved around and traveled. So it's been a really good case, but it lacked a lot of features, mainly in cable management and extra space. It did not actually have support for my radiator. I had to custom mod that sucker in there. And yeah, it was cool. It had a couple cool gimmicky features, and it was early support for USB 3, which was nice back in the day. But nowadays, it was really lacking and kind of falling apart, so I needed a new case. And for the price range I was looking at for more budget but still enthusiast style cases, Corsair had a really good one, and I chose the 450D because it was in a good price range but still offered good specs, and most importantly, support for their radiators. I have a Corsair H100, and this case already has support for up to a 280mm radiator set, so you can put a whole bunch of different stuff in there, which I will be going over in a little bit, but that's the case I got. So let's go over some of the features of the case and then look at my current setup. So the 450D arrives in a big box like this. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do an unboxing because I just needed to get it inside, but let's look at some things here. So the dimensions are 19.4 inches by 8.23 inches by 19.5 inches. It's a steel body, so it's very sturdy and rugged, but also pretty heavy. It has two 5.25 optical drive bays, three toolless 3.5 or 2.5 inch drives, and then two dedicated 2.5 inch drives in the back. It has dual 140mm intake fans and a 120mm outtake fan. And it also has 7 other fan mount locations throughout the case, which is pretty darn cool. You can have up to 7 expansion slots. It has 2 USB 3.0, a headphone and a microphone on the front. It supports anywhere from mini ITX all the way up to ATX, and a 200mm long power supply. So that's pretty cool. And as you can see there, it has some nice grommets and stuff for cable management and stuff, which is nice. Move around to the back, you can kind of see how that's laid out with the nice thing is it also has magnetic dust filters there and on the bottom underneath the power supply, so that's kind of cool. It just snaps on and off. Something that you also can't necessarily tell very well, but it is black and it is windowed, so you can also look inside and see your components and stuff. Windowed wasn't a huge thing for me, but I do like to have a nice clean layout and be able to look inside, also for a quick diagnostic, because I do have diagnostic LEDs on my board, so that way if anything's going on I can take a quick peek and see what's up. So what were some features that really drew me to the case? First of all was the overall size. So it fit a up to 280mm radiator up in the top, and just all the cooling. It already had 2 fans installed in the front and 1 in the back, and then I mean you could put up to 3 fans in the front and 2 fans in the bottom plus the 2 in the front, so tons of air cooling, which is really good. I do a lot of rendering and video stuff, so the CPU and GPU get pretty hot, so it's nice to know that this thing is sucking in a lot of air and cooling all my components down. It also had good support for extra cards. Now I recently upgraded to 2 NVIDIA GTX 760s in SLI instead of just my original 560, so I needed more space and more room and something that would sturdily hold my cards. My old case just was kind of janky and didn't hold expansion cards very well. The SSD bay was actually pretty cool in that they mounted 2 SSDs behind the motherboard tray in the back, so you can get 2 of the your thin SSDs out of the way and not take up space with your regular drives. I kind of wish it held support for a couple more drives, because my old case I would cram 5 or 6 drives in there, but it works for what I have. I have my 3 main hard drives, and then I got my 2 SSDs, and that's pretty much all I need, and the rest of it I just stick on my NAS. So yeah, the price, the style, I mean it looks pretty good, which I'll be showing you in a minute, and then the support for everything was really what drew me to it, that and the price point. I purchased the case for about $120 US. Now that price may go up or down depending on what time you're viewing this video. I bought it on Amazon, which is for me the quickest way because I can get it shipped to me in 2 days. But yeah, check Amazon, check NCIX, Newegg, etc. for the best deal and the best price. But overall, it's a really great case. So now I'm going to show you what all I have inside my rig and how I got it set up, as well as just going over some of the features that I was talking about. So yeah guys, here's my case. So first of all, we have two MSI GTX 760s. I have a Corsair H100 with dual 120mm fans in there. I have the one stock 120mm fan that came with it. Let's see here. We got a Thermaltake TR2 RX 850 watt power supply. I have three 2TB hard drives in there, two in a RAID and one as just extra storage. I have one DVD burner in there, which I occasionally use. That's 14 gigabytes of RAM in just a random configuration. I think I have two 4s, another 2, and a 2, so just random RAM in there. And then we have the two 120mm case fans that came with the front. Moving around to the front, you can see we have a headphone and microphone jack in the front, a reset button, a big old power button, and two USB 3.0. Slots for two 5.25 inch drives. I only have one installed. And then the two front fans. Now another cool feature is that you can just push on it and this grate falls away, giving you access directly to the two 120mm fans, and you can quickly clean them out or change them or do whatever you want, and then the panel just snaps right back on. Now the back looks like a mess, and I apologize for that. I haven't gotten much time to do cable management, but I just wanted to show you that there are the two SSD bays right there. I got one for my main boot drive and one for just fast storage. And then you have access to your three different HHDs in there. And then just big open storage. I kind of just have been shoving cables and stuff in that big slot, but you could stick additional drive bays or whatever else in there, so that's pretty cool. This case is nice, but I feel that if they had put just a little bit more space down there, it would just make cable management a lot better, because right now, as is, I've been trying to clean stuff up, but even still, it's hard to get the left side panel on because it just bulges out a little bit right here with all these cables. So if they had included just a little bit more space, cable management would have been nicer, and it would have been a little bit easier just to slide the panel on. But still, it's pretty nice and a big step up from my last case. Also, they have little grommets in here, which is nice, so you can run your extra power supply voltage for your motherboard and stick all the stuff through, so that most of the ugly cables can be on this side, so the large window at least looks clean, even if it looks ugly over here. Moving around to the back, you can see my motherboard. So this is a Asus P8 Z68V-Pro board. This just came out for the new Sandy Bridge launch when I got all these parts, so it's a little bit dated, but it still runs. And then these are the two MSI GTX 760 cards. And then that's just kind of ghetto of getting a card reader in the back of my computer, because unfortunately it doesn't have a 2.5 inch bay on the front. So there's that. You have the 120mm Corsair fan, and then the back of my power supply. And up in the top here is where I have my radiator, and the nice thing is magnetic fan filter, so you can quickly and easily blow dust out of that radiator. And as you can see, up to 340mm fans or a 280mm radiator set, so plenty of options for storage whether you're doing water or air cooling. So here's what the case looks like with the side panel on and they're all buttoned up. Overall, I think it looks pretty sharp. You got the, clearly being able to see into the side of your case, and with the lights on it actually looks pretty cool, I think, other than some of that red stuff right there with the SATA cables kind of popping out in the back. But other than that, I think it looks pretty nice, and then you got the fan grill on the front. But yeah, I think this case is going to serve me really well. The only thing I don't like is that they went with a matte finish, so you can kind of see stains, alongside of the case where your fingerprints oil show up just because of that matte paint. But that's kind of standard across most cases nowadays. You really have to pay more for that not to be there. So little things, but overall it's a really nice case, and so far I'm pretty happy. So what are my thoughts on the 450D? Well, in summary, from what I've already said, it's a great case. It has great support for airflow as well as nice ways to hide away drives. I can put pretty much any type of cooling solution I want in there. It's made out of steel, so it's going to be very reliable and last me a very long time. I'm hoping to get at least 6 or 7 years out of this one as well. And, you know, support for USB 3.0, which is nice, headphones. So it really has pretty much everything I need. A few small complaints. Wish there was a little bit more space between the back motherboard and the actual rear of the case so you could get better cable management, and I didn't have bulging of my left side panel. I do wish that they had maybe been able to cut a little bit of weight. I mean, with all my components in there and that steel body, that sucker is really heavy, like significantly heavier than my last case. But that also means it's going to last a pretty long time. The paint, because it's matte, shows up fingerprints a lot, but fortunately I don't touch my case a lot, which is, you know, it's fine. The magnetic fan filter on the bottom. So it has a fan filter on the top and on the bottom. Unfortunately, because of where I put my case, it's also metal, so the magnetic fan filter tends to like snap off and stick to the magnetic surface or metal surface that I have my case on. So just small little things, but nothing that's really catastrophic or really annoying to me. So overall, really great case. I definitely do recommend it. For 120 bucks, it's hard to beat, and it's already got stock really good air cooling. If you stick up more fans in there, you're never going to have a problem. And also it supports water cooling, which is what I use for my case because I do a lot of heavy end rendering and stuff, so I definitely want to keep my components cool. So support for great graphics cards, support for great cooling, water cooling, and air. Corsair 450D, great case, definitely check it out. I'll be including a link in the description down below where you can pick it up on Amazon in the US, otherwise just search it in whatever country that you're in, and you can certainly go ahead and find it. So yeah guys, that's been my overlook and review of the Corsair 450D mid-level case. Let me know in the comment box down below, what did you think of this review? Do you guys have a Corsair 450D or any other Corsair case? What has been your experience with them? You know, I've only been using it for a short little bit and so far no real major issues. Let me know your experience, or what did you think about the features of this case. Would you recommend a better one for me for something that has great support for air and water cooling as well as other cool features? Let me know in the comment box down below. As always guys, thanks for watching. Remember, you can check out the last video I did right here, what I talked about right here. Remember that like and subscribe button down below. Don't forget to follow me on social media to see all my adventures, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!